I'm sitting at a park. I don't think my body's like fully adjusting to how cold it's currently getting / how cold it is going to get, but I'm still attempting to try and be outside. So we'll see how long I can last in the car with no heat on for filming this video. I feel like I've had such a significant shift in my content lately, and also in the content that I want to be making. When people ask like how I started my YouTube channel and like what content I make or like what I used to make, I always say that I started by just throwing spaghetti at the wall because I was just so interested in making content. Like I didn't have a niche. I didn't really know what I wanted to do or what direction I wanted to take my channel. And it wasn't until a few months into making videos that I kind of decided, hey, fitness has always been a huge passion of mine. It would be really cool if I documented some of my experiences, filmed them, posted them, and then when I kind of realized this sparks a lot of my interest and it combines two of my favorite things, then that was when I kind of took this direction of my channel to being more towards lifestyle, fitness, vlogging, healthy lifestyle-ish. But I made so many freaking mistakes along the way. I've had my channel now for just over 3 years, which is absolutely wild and disgusting and amazing all at the same time. Disgusting only because time is a social construct. Like, tell me that it's been 3 years, I tell you, you lying. I'm not calling you a truther. But I thought it'd be kind of funny if I sat down and called out pretty much every single toxic thing that I can think of that I did during my health and fitness journey, during my healthy lifestyle pursuits, just kind of like roasted myself. Because if there's anything that I feel like I have learned in this 3.5-year journey, 3-year journey, 3 years in a month journey, it's that it is 100% to change your mind, change your opinion, own up to your mistakes, call yourself out on things, also own up to things when you realize that previously things that you've done are now wrong, or maybe they'd always been wrong and you just never knew because you were ignorant or naive. I have already done a video where I basically roasted all of my previous videos that are extremely problematic. If you'd like to see like more of a commentary on those, I will link that down below as well. But for now, let's just go through some of like the important, hilarious bullet points. First on the docket, trying and drinking religiously. Those nasty ass miracle fixer elixir drinks. This is pretty much everything from feeling like adding lemon to my water will make me lose 1,000 pounds overnight, to doing those absolutely horrendous mixes, apple cider vinegar spiced drinks that actually make me want to vomit up my stomach. I remember there was a period of my life when every single morning I would heat up some water, I would add in apple cider vinegar, probably like some cinnamon, it's cayenne pepper, it's lemon, it's maple syrup to try and cut the taste of all those things I just listed, and somehow like believing that all of those things would just create a miracle upon my body. Like I would be transformed into like a fucking unicorn. It's honestly embarrassing looking back on, but the fact that I so easily believed that shit is just comical. I've tried to look up like some sort of scientific backing to at least like apple cider vinegar, and sure, like it can be helpful with digestion in some circumstances, but for the most part, if I'm drinking this thing every single morning and immediately afterwards it's giving me the worst stomach ache of my life, where there's so much acid in my stomach it feels like I just ate a fire-breathing dragon, maybe, just maybe, I should lean into my internal cues and realize like that drink is not good for me. Also, like the bottom line of this is just recognizing that anything that you are marketed that tells you it is going to be your cure-all, your fixer elixir, and it's going to solve all of your problems and help you lose 4,000 pounds, it's absolutely not realistic. And on that note of just following toxic trends, I was such a toxic diet yo-yoer. Excuse like this gorgeous shadow that's coming in on my face. I'm pretty sure I've tried like every single trendy diet under the sun. Let me tell you, none of them effing work. Every diet has one thing in common or one goal in common, and that is basically just tricking you into cutting a certain number of calories out of your day to ultimately help you lose weight if that is your goal. Whether it's keto or intermittent fasting or whatever the heck, ultimately it's just different mind games. It's literally just that. You know, filming at sunset, not the best, smartest idea I've ever had. Alongside that, I would also like wait as long as possible to eat throughout the day because I just kind of thought, okay, this is going to extend my intermittent fasting window. And ultimately, all that did for myself was not allow me to listen to my internal cues, not listen to my body, my hunger cues. And then I would just get so depleted with energy by the end of the day that I would eat as much as I could at the end of the afternoon or the evening, and I'm sitting in bed like, why did I wait so long to give my body the nutrients that it needed? Just because I was trying to play this silly little mind game of intermittent fasting or skipping breakfast or whatever the fuck the new trend was that week. I was so self-absorbed and so desperate to try anything and everything that was marketed to me that I wasn't listening to what my body needed. And ultimately, that is where I saw failure. Trying to avoid the sun. Yeah. And of course, you know, piggybacking off of that, toxic item number 3, cutting shit out of my diet. Thinking that all of my problems were going to be absolved if I just cut out that one quote unquote bad thing is absolutely ridiculous. One of the best things I've learned in the past few years, if not just like the past few months, because let's face it, like I'm constantly learning how to live this quote unquote healthy lifestyle, is that you have to find a way to live this sustainable lifestyle that's going to work for you in the long run. For me, I love a daily treat. For the most part, it's usually like an Oreo, let's say, or a scoop of ice cream, whatever the heck. I look forward to my daily Oreos. Like that makes me genuinely happy. It looks like I'm like literally wearing like a blindfold. This is wonderful. And typically people would be like, you should cut out that daily Oreo so you can live a more healthy lifestyle. Fuck that. What does healthy mean in your context? Living a healthy lifestyle means also having a healthy mindset. And if that means my happiness is also derived from certain foods that I just freaking love and look forward to, then that to me is healthy in all terms. I am never going to cut things out of my diet that just genuinely make me happy. Now, of course, that also means that I need to be keeping my body healthy and nourished with nourishing foods like vegetables and whole foods, and staying away from things that maybe upset my stomach or don't nourish me in the same way or bother me. But at the end of the day, if I cut out my daily Oreos, not only is it just going to make me sad, I also know that's not going to last. Like at a certain point, I'm going to give in and have a freaking Oreo again, which is just why I am never going to promote some type of diet. At the end of the day, they're not sustainable. And ultimately, the best kind of lifestyle that you can live is one that you can sustain, one that is balanced, and one that actually works for you in the long run. This is like comical at this point. Like I'm just chasing away from the sun. We got to go. Round 3. Let's freaking go. Okay, I think you all already saw this one coming, but some of the most popular videos on my channel are also some of the ones that I am least proud of. I've actually deleted or privated a whole lot of videos that I just can't stand behind anymore, and I just don't want negative or incorrect messaging sitting on my channel because I don't want to incorrectly share information or share incorrect information. But I used to do so many like toxic or just kind of gimmicky challenges on my channel, and at the time I had such a good time with them and I don't regret doing them. However, I do regret thinking that these were sort of like these all or nothing miracle workout challenges that were going to transform my life in 7 days time. And that includes everything from like a 7-day Chloe Ting ab challenge to something as drastic and time consuming as going into 75 hard. I remember I did 75 hard. I want to say it was the summer of 2020. And I've made so many videos about 75 hard, and I really hate talking about it because I feel like it like brings out like the haterades, and I am not in the mood for that. But the bottom line for me was that I feel like at a certain point in time, I genuinely thought that these things were going to change my entire appearance, transform my whole life, like help me grow a third arm. Like I just thought they were going to be like the bee's knees. But I'm not going to put like all of the blame on the creators of these challenges, because really what it comes down to was me and thinking that I had this all or nothing mentality with these challenges. Because I would go into them starting from like ground zero. Like I was just on a really bad path. I hadn't worked out in weeks. I was eating really poorly. My body felt like it was just fatigued and I wasn't treating it right. And then all of a sudden I would do this 7-day challenge and instantly think I have to do a full 180 on my life. And I was gonna eat completely clean and I was gonna work out 2 times a day and be the most energized and perfect human being in the world. I feel like I've yo-yoed back and forth so many times in that exact same respect throughout so much of my life. And that's ultimately like one of the biggest problems that I faced as well, is thinking that I can't have this in between, when really and truly like that is where your balance comes from. Imagine that. Balance being the middle of 2 extremes. What a unique definition. But I think the sad thing is that I was not the only person that quote unquote fell for these things. It's almost that the way that they're marketed is to people like me that are vulnerable and that did not know better. And that's why it can be so effective for them and their programs and these quick fixes, because we're just so desperate to get back on track. We feel like we need to do these things in order to have this perfect lifestyle, when in actuality, like that doesn't exist. Like a quick fix isn't real. And if it's marketed to you like that, if it's telling you that your whole life is going to be perfect and that you're going to change your whole entire body and your mindset and everything in 24 hours or 7 days time or a month or whatever, you know straight away. Big red flag. Huge red flag. This next one I think took me a really long time to acknowledge and also detach myself from, but I had a very difficult time understanding who were the best people to look up to in the fitness world. I took a lot of advice from people that just looked like they fit the part. If they had a nice round booty and toned arms and beautiful quads or whatever, then I figured they knew absolutely everything about weight training and how to look like them. I mean, just owning up to it. Like I was following people based solely on their aesthetics and thinking that if I followed what they said, then I would look like them. Completely disregarding that genetics is a huge factor in all of those things. Or even just looking at certifications or lack thereof. Like I would sit online and compare myself to these 6'2" gorgeous tanned models, completely ignoring the fact that they have like an entire foot on me. Like I am never going to have these extraordinarily long legs because that is not the size of my body. So why would I waste so much mental energy comparing myself to them, bringing myself down and lowering my own self-confidence by picking myself apart by comparing my body to theirs? That's not fair to me. That's not fair to them. And whether they meant it in a negative way or not, it just wasn't a healthy thing for me to be following people like that. And it took me a really long time to unfollow creators that were causing a negative outlook on myself. And that's a reflection of me. That's not on them, but I didn't know any better. And this next one, I still feel like I'm trying to conquer and get past, but really I have had the hardest time throughout so much of my life combating seasonal weight or seasonal weight changes. And by that, I mean feeling like I need to constantly change my body for the time of the year. Like, for instance, hot girl summer, getting toned for summer, or feeling like I need to lose a certain amount of weight for a bathing suit or a bikini season, versus the holidays when I might just be like, you know what? Screw it. It's the holidays. Eat whatever I want. Do whatever I want. Don't take care of my body. Don't work out. Yada, yada, yada. And then, of course, following that up with New Year's Day, the start of the new year, which is everybody's favorite time to market to you in the fitness industry. Be careful of that. That's coming up. Now, there's nothing wrong with using like the start of a new month or a new season to jumpstart your goals. I think sometimes like we always need that. Sure, that can be kind of tricky at times, but oftentimes like we love that little jump start. Like maybe you really love the idea of starting on May 1st and just diving straight into it. But there is, for me, a little bit of toxicity that I think comes from feeling like my body has to change to adapt to whatever activity that I'm doing, or maybe how I'm going to be dressing. It's just going back to that constant yo-yo of one extreme to the next. I want to achieve the point in my life where I feel just content with my body, with my health, all 12 months out of the year. So I'm not constantly having to do this battle back and forth of, am I happy, or do I need to lose weight for this time, or screw it because of X, Y, or Z thing. I want to get to the point where I am just happy and balanced and content, because that is what is, you guessed it, sustainable. Sustainable is becoming like my new favorite buzzword. Like, it just works. And in my experience, I have done everything to try and manipulate my physical appearance without ever actually addressing my mental health and my mental appearance. If I tried to make changes to my mental health before I just started attacking my body, I really feel like I would have eliminated so many of these toxic steps, because I would not be placing so much value on my physical appearance and my aesthetics. As difficult as it is, like putting in that extra work to work on loving yourself and building your own self-confidence, as cheesy as it sounds, from the inside out, that is what pays off in the end, in the long run. Because I have been the lowest weight I have ever been. I've been the most toned I've ever been. And you know what? Even in those times, I still wasn't freaking happy, because I wasn't happy with myself. As I was kind of alluding to at the beginning of this video too, I feel as if so much of my content used to be focused so much around this fitness routine and constantly like going to the gym every single day and working out on this perfect, well-structured, balanced routine. Now, let's be honest, I never had that type of content. I was never the perfect picture girl for any sort of fitness routine, but you get my point. I was structuring so much of my lifestyle around fitness because at the time, that was what I think I valued most. Almost because I didn't value myself enough, and I didn't value or know how to value my own self-confidence. But now I'm in this stage of my life where I just want to be happy and content. And for me, that means finding any way to move my body in a way that I actually enjoy. And oftentimes, that isn't in a gym. And maybe that means I am at a workout class. Maybe that means I'm hiking these insanely gorgeous mountains that I get to live next to now. Or maybe I have no freaking energy and the most I want to do that day is go on a walk with Reese. Or just like take her out enough to go to the bathroom and then go right back to bed. Because that's called being human, and that's a lot more realistic than setting myself up for failure on this 7-day workout routine. I want to find strength in balance. I want to find strength in sustainability, because I don't know, like life is just too short to be so wrapped up and self-absorbed with my appearance. And I don't want to put so much of my own self-worth into the way I look by following some of these toxic things that I used to do. Now, that doesn't mean I want to completely neglect my physical health, but I just want to make sure that I'm prioritizing what makes me happiest. So cheers to like a chapter of just working on ourselves, throwing away that toxicity, working on what makes us happiest, and also like calling our own selves out on our own BS, you know? Like, thank you for coming to my own little roast. I hope you were snapping along. I love y'all lots. Thank you for always just, you know, being there for me. This is the last video I'll be posting before my birthday. I am actually like kind of getting to that point where I don't love growing up and I'm not looking forward to birthdays anymore. And I was gonna do like, you know, 26 things that I've learned in my 26 years or whatever the heck, but this is kind of like my own little ode to myself and a promise to myself to spend the next year focusing on things that make me happy, things that help me work on my own self-love and confidence, and hopefully encouraging you to do the same. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your weekend. If I don't see you before Thanksgiving and you live in the States, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a great time with all of your loved ones, and I'll catch you on the flippity flip. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Love ya.